Here's more wrestling news for April 18th, 2022. And your headlines for this afternoon include Triple H weighs in on NXT Superstars who have gone on to join AEW. WWE legend IRS says his sons Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt aren't done yet. What was the reason for awkward segment on last week's SmackDown? Cody Rhodes admits making huge mistake with his AEW booking. Ric Flair may be preparing for in-ring return according to recent teases. Ronda Rousey opens up about struggling with promos. Bianca Belair-Sonya Deville feud could mark the end for the authority figure. Shocking wrestling botch goes viral with video on social media. MVP rules out Hurt Business reunion. Drew Gulak may be finished in WWE after last week's SmackDown. What does Tony Khan have planned for major announcement on AEW Dynamite? And more. We're starting it today with Triple H, who has overseen plenty of changes over the past year, including losing some of the top names in NXT to AEW. Stars including Keith Lee, Adam Cole, Swerve Strickland, and Red Dragon all once called the Black and Gold brand home, but the King of Kings isn't too upset with their departures. In an interview with The Athletic, Triple H compared WWE's rosters to sports teams and said that wrestlers are bound to come and go, as is the nature of the business. Speaking specifically about those who have left NXT for AEW, The Game has said that he's happy for them that they have great gigs and stays in touch with many of them despite these stars now working for the rival promotion. Ultimately, the wrestling industry is a business and wrestlers will go where they feel they can get the best deal. And while this has meant WWE has lost a lot of good talent, Triple H understands that it's nothing personal. For years, Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt were in WWE, and while the company never acknowledged that they were brothers on screen, the pair had much different careers. While Dallas was often little more than a jobber on the main roster, Wyatt became one of the most popular superstars in recent years, but neither man could avoid being future endeavored. During an appearance on Stories with Briscoe and Bradshaw, Mike Rotunda, aka IRS and the father of Bray and Bo, spoke about his sons and made it clear fans will see them again. They're definitely not maybe done. I don't know. They've kind of got their foot in and going with a couple of different things, trying to see what's available, so, maybe you'll see them back, maybe you won't, I don't know yet. But I don't want to speak for them either because I know they're trying to reach out and get some different things going. Neither Dallas nor Wyatt have wrestled since being released in April and July 2021 respectively, but their legendary father is convinced that it's just a matter of time before his boys make a splash again. On the most recent episode of SmackDown, Raquel Rodriguezz introduced herself to Natalya and was uncomfortably greeted by the WWE veteran. The entire segment felt a bit forced, but that was by design, according to Dave Meltzer. On his show, Dave Meltzer said the goal of the statement was to make Natalya look like a phony person, and that she knows who Raquel is, but is feigning ignorance. Natalya has certainly been busy with new talent, as she has also started a program on NXT 2.0 with Cora Jade, but it appears the former SmackDown Women's Champion will also be Rodriguez's first big feud on the main roster as well. In 2019, Cody Rhodes challenged then-champion Chris Jericho for the AEW World title in what would be his last chance at the gold. As per the stipulation of the match, Rhodes could never challenge for the AEW World Championship after he lost to Y2J, but that's a decision the American Nightmare has gone on to regret. Speaking on the Out of Character podcast, Rhodes explained that he was too young and immature to block himself from becoming world champion, and said that he was so worried about making it clear to the fans and wrestlers that he wasn't going to book himself on top that it cost him a chance at being world champion. Rhodes never won the AEW World title during his 3 years with the company, and while he has made it clear he plans on becoming undisputed WWE Universal Champion, there remains an empty spot for AEW's top prize in Rhodes' trophy cabinet. For decades, Ric Flair competed in wrestling rings across various promotions and around the world, capturing 16 world titles in the process. Flair retired from in-ring competition several years ago due to his declining health, but now the Nature Boy could be preparing for one last run. Taking to social media, Flair shared video of himself training with Jay Lethal, and the former WWE Champion is seen taking several bumps in the clip. Flair is the first ever two-time WWE Hall of Famer, being inducted in 2008 and as part of the Four Horsemen in 2012, and while WWE have kept their distance from him since the Dark Side of the Ring episode about the plane ride from hell, we're sure there'll be promotions willing to pay for Rick to get back in the ring. From one Flair to another, as Charlotte Flair would put her SmackDown Women's title on the line at WrestleMania Backlash in an I Quit match against Ronda Rousey. While Rousey is athletically gifted and brings a level of realness to the women's division, it's no secret that she often struggles on the mic, and that's something the self-proclaimed hot mama knows herself. On her vlog series Ronda on the Road, Rousey discussed what it's like to cut promos, which continue to be an issue for her. "I get more nervous for promos than matches because I have to nail it on the first go. I've always been a person that communicates better physically than verbally, but I think I got it. They let me say what I want to say, then I got it." Before coming to WWE, Rousey would let her fists do the talking in the UFC, so transitioning to scripted promos each week has been a tough challenge for her. Even Vince McMahon has helped Rousey out in the past, but it may be a long time yet before we see Rousey properly improve her promo skills. Over to Raw now, as this week's show saw the continuation of Sonya Deville's feud with Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, but things weren't good for the WWE Authority figure. In a decent segment, Deville declared that the EST couldn't touch her or risk being fined, and after Belair lifted Deville in the air, things went from bad to worse for the latter. It was announced that there is now an investigation into Deville about whether she abused her power to get the title shot, and while Belair was fined, her actions set the Raw Women's Champion back exactly $1. While many have dubbed Sonya Deville as a future champion, she's going to have to wait as their match has been made official for next week, and the chances of Belair losing the title are practically non-existent. If you've ever tried your hand at pro wrestling, you'll know that it's painful work, and that injuries can happen at any time. No matter if it's WWE's biggest show, WrestleMania, or an indie event with a crowd of half a dozen people, injuries affect all wrestlers, and there was a particularly nasty botch this week. In a video clip that went viral online, a wrestler could be seen diving from a ladder to the outside of the ring, but did not get any elevation off his jump. That's because he couldn't leap off the ladder as his head was already touching the ceiling and he fell forward, catching his feet on the ropes. What follows is an incredibly ugly fall as one of the three wrestlers on the outside tries to catch him in a spot that made the crowd scream in horror. Details are scarce about the wrestler in question, but we certainly hope he's okay, and it goes to show that accidents can happen at any wrestling event. When MVP returned to WWE at the 2020 Royal Rumble, it was meant to be a one-off, but the company decided to give the former US champion a chance with incredible results. For months, MVP was the head of the Hurt Business, leading Bobby Lashley, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin to championship glory, but don't expect the group to ever reunite. When a fan asked MVP over Twitter whether a Hurt Business reunion is possible, the manager wrestler confirmed that the group went out of business. With MVP now aligned with Omos, the veteran performer is now ready to help make another new star in WWE, but it remains to be seen how his efforts will fare with the former Raw Tag Team Champion. On last Friday's SmackDown, Drew Gulak was on the show, but in a much different role than fans are used to from the former Cruiserweight Champion. Instead of wrestling, Gulak was trying out for a role as an interviewer and was doing well until he was attacked in the middle of the ring by Charlotte Flair. The attack wasn't exactly pretty, and at one point, Flair dropped Gulak's leg, and he had to hold in position and sell the move despite being no pressure on his legs. On the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer discussed the segment, saying that could spell bad news for Gulak. Meltzer explained that while Gulak was very professional when selling the move, this is typically the kind of segment WWE films before they release a superstar. With the segment, Gulak was thoroughly made out to no longer be a threat to other wrestlers, and with Meltzer advising him to change his phone number or risk a call from John Laurinaitis, Drew's days with the company may indeed be numbered. And we're ending with tomorrow night's AEW Dynamite, where Tony Khan will appear to make another major announcement just weeks after declaring his purchase of Ring of Honor. The AEW president has kept quiet about what the announcement will actually be, and while some have rumored that it'll be an AEW New Japan Super Show, that may not be the case. During Wrestling Observer Live, Meltzer said that the announcement will likely be related to Ring of Honor, and with Sinclair Broadcasting streaming their last show, it will likely be news of a distribution deal for ROH. Tony Khan has been signing as many big names as he can to contracts, both with AEW and ROH, so he's clearly planning something big for his new promotion. Whether the announcement tomorrow night is a new distribution deal for ROH or not, it'll certainly be something big, since Khan will appear on Dynamite to announce it, and we won't have to wait much longer to learn exactly what he has planned. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.